and welcome back to Aico TV. We're currently on episode 58 and I'm Lauren Jones, Marketing Executive here at Aico, and I'm joined by my colleague
Lisa. I'm a Marketing Executive here at Aico as well. This week we'll be looking at an interview between Craig Swift, one of our Regional Specification Managers, and Midland Heart, who are implemented our connected home solution across their portfolio and finding out what it means to their residents. Let's get into this week's episode.
Good afternoon and welcome to Aico TV. My name's Craig Swift, Regional Specification Manager for Aico in Birmingham. Today I'm joined by Sam Davis and Mohammed Rahman, and we're going to be speaking about their journey of the IoT and environmental sensors. Sam, Mohammed, thanks for joining us today, much appreciated. So I'm just going to speak a little bit about your sort of IoT journey really. So just tell me a little bit sort of what first drew you to the Aico HomeLink solution.
Well, thank you, Craig, for having us today. The Aico app home solution provided us a user-friendly app for our residents, which I think was important to allow them to see how we're managing damp and mould in their homes.
Sam, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think it was just giving us a really user-friendly way of communicating, interacting with our tenants, and almost helping give them the control on their own properties to empower them to move things forward themselves with the support of us as well.
Obviously this is sort of relatively new technology as well. Had you looked at any others or have you sort of been in the market and played with any other technologies that are available to you?
Yeah, we had a little look around and we have used some other technologies. We've even paired them and used them side by side with Aico to kind of find out what best works for us, what best works for our tenants, and we found Aico as being really useful for us.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was a useful insight comparing both products together to see what's best for ourselves, for our residents, to help them move forward with managing damp and mould in their homes. And I think more importantly, making their home a comfortable place to live in. So
resident engagement is obviously a huge part of this for you. How have you managed that? What's worked well for you? What's the journey been like for you?
Yeah, the resident engagement has been very positive, and what's been very important is the engagement with them when we have visited their homes. We've produced leaflets and videos to help them see that user journey from start to end, from when we visit their homes to when we install the solution to when we get the app onto their phone as well. So all that user journey has been very positive for them, and it's been very engaging, and I think it's been a great solution.
So do you feel that the resident app has worked well for you in terms of including the resident, and that this is much about them and their homes as it is about you guys as well?
Yeah, I think it definitely has, and I think that's the key part that you've said there. It's their home, isn't it? We're the ones supporting them along the journey, but they're living there day in, day out, and no one knows their home like they do. And this, I think I used the words earlier, this empowers them to take control of their home and feel that they can go off on their own and they can manage these things with the help of the technology. And then we're there to support them, but it's really led by them, and we can just come in where they feel they need extra support. So it's been really good in supporting them through that journey.
So the sensors are capable of giving a huge amount of data and insights. Are you purely just using these to look at damp and mould issues, or is there a bigger picture here with such things as retrofit programs, sustainability, etc.?
Yeah, I think that's a good question, and although maybe it started out as primarily a damp and mould thing, because that's such a big issue at the moment, it gives us a great insight to that, but we can take it one step further, and we're using it to monitor air quality, fuel poverty, which is such a crucial thing at the moment, and in the future we will look to use it to complement our retrofit schemes moving forward.
And is the is the meter integration something that will be of interest to you as well? With that in mind, with the energy costs increasing, do you think that will be something you'll utilise moving forward?
Hopefully we do plan to do that as part of our retrofit, especially with the high living costs currently in the UK. And I think getting this right is very important for us first, and then we can move forward with other technology to help our residents live in a comfortable home, as well as supporting them and signposting them to any other external support that they can have, and also help us improve our tenants' home as well.
You're quite way into the programme now with the environmental sensors, and you get some really good insights and some informative data as well. What would you say has been the biggest benefit to date?
The biggest benefit is the resident app. The technology, capturing the data through the sensors, through to the gateway, into the cloud, and straight to the resident's phone. That's one of the biggest benefits. The residents are not having to rely on us to call them and to give us the information about their temperature, humidity being too high or too low. So for them to receive it and get notified, it's a massive positive.
And are they using it in a manner of which the suggestions that the app is giving them, are they implementing those suggestions, i.e. try opening your windows if you're drying and closing doors, etc.? Is that having the impact, the desired impact?
Yeah, I definitely think it is, and I think a massive part of this whole issue is education, isn't it? And the app, with these little hints and tips, is providing an insight that not everyone thinks of straight away, and so it is providing that education that they can use these tips and manage their home.
Huge part of this journey is managing the data. Obviously, you've got multiple properties, all gathering data and seeing it on a user-friendly dashboard. How are you managing that data successfully?
So at the moment, the data has been extremely helpful. It's managed by myself and Mo as our customer liaison managers, and it's been really useful to help us identify trends in the data in a really user-friendly way. Like you've said, it breaks it down nice and simple. So although we're getting this complex data, we can identify trends and use that to move forward in maybe we need to improve ventilation, we need to install a fan here, and we can use the data that we're getting and the trends that we're seeing to further improve our homes to prevent any issues before they arise.
Just adding onto that as well, I think using that data as well helps us share that with our tenants as well, in being able to show them the trends, the peaks, or when there's high moisture levels or when the temperatures are being too high, and it helps us build that conversation and find solutions to that with our residents. Or as another example will be if the property is too cold, it helps us identify that and then signpost our residents to our money advice team if they're going through fuel poverty, for example. So the data is key. It's going to help us shape our tenants' homes and how we move forward in managing damp and mould as well as the other factors.
And has it helped you identify any areas where you've got properties of a certain type, where you may have repeated problems but are the same? So has it helped you sort of look at any of that detail as well?
Yeah, it has helped us identify different issues that maybe you wouldn't know without the data. Is there extra insulation that needs installing somewhere because we're having these repeat issues and we're doing all the correct things to help prevent it, but if it's still reoccurring, it allows us to pinpoint where we need to look a bit deeper into the issue, and then we can address that quite well.
And have you found the structural versus environmental a useful tool to have as well?
Yeah, that's been very useful to be honest, because it helps us as part of our retrofit program as well. So if we do identify properties where there's a lot of heat loss, for example, it's going to point towards the external wall insulation, for example. Windows or doors, again, though a few other components to name. It helps us make those decisions as part of our retrofit program for that particular property.
So in terms of improvement works, whether that be like big retrofit programs or smaller, just to make improvements to properties, have you found the notes section useful on the dashboard, which is allowing you to look at those results from a pre and post works improvement?
Yeah, the notes section within the portal has been very useful. It allows us to create a timeline of events from start to finish. So from the resident reporting the repair, installing the sensors within the property, looking at that data, and then using that data to plan the required repairs that's required within the property, whether it be insulation, a new window or a new door, for example, and then again using that data again to see the improvements from that improvement as well, from the repairs that have been carried out. So yeah, the notes section has been useful, and when we're visiting our residents in their homes, we're returning back to the portal and adding those notes, those conversations that we've had. So yeah, that builds a great picture in terms of that property, and hopefully other properties that we have upcoming in the future as well.
And Sam, you?
Yeah, I'd say, just to piggyback off what Mo said there, it helps us look back and think, where have we gone right here? Where have we caught something? What did we do with this property, and identify those trends like we've been speaking about. So if we've got a couple of properties and they've maybe had similar issues that we've addressed, what else is in that area? Where have we similarly got those issues arise, and we can catch them before it even starts. So those notes from pre and post each property are going to inform our decisions moving forward, so that we can nip it in the bud before it ever even happens.
So in terms of data, you're obviously quite a big organisation, over 32,000 properties to manage, so various information coming in from different departments. So in future, do you think you'll integrate into your housing management system, just so you're using one platform to see all data?
Yeah, I think definitely we will look to go down that route. At the moment, we've had a really successful rollout. Things are going really well. The way we're able to engage with our residents and use the data has been really positive. So once we can kind of assess all that data, see where it's taken us, we'll definitely look to use it to inform our properties moving forward and how we manage that.
One thing I think Midland Heart have done really well with this, and in particular you guys, is manage the data. From the outset, really, you've looked at that data in a productive way, made informed decisions, moved forward with the resident, or made the improvements to the property as well, which is something that's been really sort of engaging for me to see.
That's great to hear, Craig. We're definitely taking proactive measures to help our residents live in a better comfortable home. That is key for us, and also making our properties suitable for them too, and taking proactive measures before they start arising, and help minimise that as well.
Brilliant. So from a sort of, to go on a sort of different path on an install point of view, I know in particular you two have been involved from sort of the outset from these projects right through to the install, really. How have you found the install, either yourselves or reports from engineers, etc.? What's the feedback been like?
It's been pretty good, to be fair. I think the first time you ever do anything, you're a bit unsure of how it's going to go, but from speaking to the electricians who are installing them and being there on site now to connect it and link everything together, it's quite a simple process now. The electricians we have doing it have had good feedback from them, and then ourselves, just everything's on the app for us. It's just a step-by-step follow through. It tells you exactly what to do. It's nice and simple, and we can just do it from start to finish fairly smoothly, which is good because it minimises disruption to the tenant, and the tenant's at the heart of all of this, aren't they? So the fact that we can get it in nice and seamless, we've got it down to a fine art now, I think, and it's a good process.
And do you have a set sort of layout for each property, or do you treat your position of sensors on a property by property basis, really?
Yeah, we base it on a property by basis. Every property is going to be different. The layout is going to be different as well. So before we carry out the install, we visit the resident to inform them of the process, keep them informed throughout, from the date, from the time, from the duration of the install. So yeah, in terms of where the sensors go, that is directed by our damper mold surveyors, who tell us where the concerns are, and also it helps us revisit that property to make that decision on where they should go as well.
Fantastic. Mo, Sam, thank you very much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure as always.
Thank you very much for having us. Thank you.
Thanks for having us. Bye-bye.
This week's episode, we'd love to hear your comments and thoughts in the comments below. You can find us on our social media platforms, which are
LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.